Kommo-o is the flagship pseudo-legendary of Gen 7, and one of my personal favorite modern Pokemon designs. Not only does Kommo-o really stand out visually, everything about it is well thought out. It's the first ever dragon fighting type. It has the interesting choice between bulletproof or soundproof for its ability, and a wide selection of different attacks and utility options in its move pool, including the signature Z move Clangorous Soul Blaze in Gen 7, which was reworked into a unique boosting move in Gen 8. On top of all this, it has a pretty modest stat distribution. It's not too fast, and not too powerful. Kommo-o's power comes from the game-ending potential of its Clangorous Soul, and its sheer versatility, allowing it to fill many different roles and team gaps. Kommo-o was a good Pokemon in its debut game, but it did not achieve an OU rank in Gen 8, with its newly reworked Clangorous Soul. It had its viable uses, but as a boost sweeper, it struggled to break through some of the popular defensive Pokemon in the format. Kommo-o will be returning in the upcoming DLC, and in Gen 9, I think it might just become better than ever. Not only are the popular defensive Pokemon very different in Gen 9, game-ending boost sweepers have all been greatly enhanced by the generation's new mechanic, Terastallization. By transforming into a new type, boost sweepers can live incoming hits, granting them a crucial free turn to set up. Time and time again, we have seen this have game-breaking potential and push many Pokemon over the edge into brokenness. I'm not sure if Kommo-o will be quite on that level, but I'm pretty sure that Terra is going to greatly enhance this Pokemon's offensive capability. Let's take a look at how Kommo-o could be used to destroy teams in Gen 9. Like this video and subscribe to the channel for your own personal safety against the increasingly powerful business mogul and past paradox form of Goldengo, Old Money, pictured here in 4K HD for the first time ever. Thank you. Something that immediately came to mind when I thought of Kommo-o in Gen 9 was a set inspired by Annihilate. Annihilate is absolutely busted in competitive singles, and one of the prime examples of a Pokemon that can take advantage of defensively terastallizing. By using Terra Water to overcome its weaknesses, Annihilate is able to snowball out of control very quickly thanks to Bulk Up, Drain Punch to heal itself, and the signature move Rage Fist, which gains 50 power every time Annihilate takes damage from an attack, with Taunt to stop enemies from using moves like Will-O-Wisp or Whirlwind to counter Annihilate. This was borderline unstoppable, and eventually had to be banned to Ubers. I think that Kommo-o has the potential to do something very similar. Kommo-o's signature move Clangorous Soul will sacrifice 33% of Kommo-o's health to increase all of its stats by one stage. It was a little bit difficult to find opportunities to use this move in Gen 8, with Kommo-o's exploitable weaknesses, but with the support of Terra, finding that opportunity is going to be much easier, and once you get a single all-stat boost, you'll really start to get the ball rolling. Taking inspiration from Annihilate, a set with Clangorous Soul, Drain Punch, Shadow Claw and Taunt could be extremely powerful. Rage Fist was admittedly a big part of Annihilate's success, a move that can scale up to extremely high power levels, but Kommo-o has a uniquely powerful signature move of its own. The ability to boost speed and both defensive stats, and even heal off the HP loss with Drain Punch, is going to make Kommo-o really difficult to take out. Hisuian Zoroark does exist now, the first ever Pokemon with a normal Ghost type combination, and the only Pokemon that is completely immune to the otherwise excellent Fighting plus Ghost offensive coverage combination. Hisuian Zoroark was not released at the time of Annihilate's ban, and would have made for a pretty effective counter. Hisuian Zoroark has fallen down to UU following the release of Pokemon Home and subsequent metagame shifts, so it's not a very common presence. When testing out this potential set, I was surprised to see that +1 Shadow Claw missed out on a lot of important KOs. But what about Terastallizing Ghost? Kommo-o has the ability Bulletproof, meaning it is completely immune to bullet-based moves. This includes Shadow Ball, the most common Ghost type attack in the game. Terastallizing Ghost is great defensively for Kommo-o, making it neutral to many incoming hits, and since it's immune to Shadow Ball anyway, a weakness to Ghost will not be a problem most of the time. On top of this, it will boost Shadow Claw's damage, allowing you to one-hit KO a lot of important targets after using Clangorous Soul. With max speed and a jolly nature, you can outrun and KO Dragapult and Choice Scarf Goldengo. You can two-hit KO Skeledirge with the additional Ghost type damage, forcing them to Terastallize if they want to answer you effectively. King Gambit is always a potential problem if you're Terastallizing Ghost, but thanks to the defense boost boost from Clangorous Soul, a Sucker Punch is livable, even factoring in some Supreme Overlord boosts. Substitute could be a nice alternative to Taunt, not only to help you against status moves and effects like Salt Cure, but to play around Sucker Punch, and even check if the enemy uses Terra. Citrus Berry could be a nice item choice on Kommo-o to offset the HP loss from Clangorous Soul, and with Substitute, you can put yourself into that berry range much more consistently, and operate very effectively against King Gambit, playing around not only Sucker Punch, but a potential defensive Terastallize. Dondozo will be a tough matchup for this set, but against many teams who might not be able to justify using an unaware Pokemon like Dondozo or Skeledirge, this set could very easily sweep teams and end games. I don't think this will be quite on the level of Annihilate, but it seems pretty close to me. We won't know until we see it in action, and it'll be interesting to see how these sets are EV'd and the Terra type of choice. Maybe they'll favor bulk over speed benchmarks, or even use Rest and Chesto Berry, like some Annihilate sets did. A noteworthy advantage Kommo-o has over Annihilate is its versatility in sets. While Annihilate was mostly just using the one set with a slight variation here and there, Kommo-o could be using not only a similar Drain Punch Taunt set, it could be using a Special Sweeper set with many possible coverage moves, a more aggressive physical set also with many possible coverage moves, or even a mixed set. Clangorous Soul boosts all of your stats, meaning you have no idea what Kommo-o could do after using it. We've seen some of the new Paradox Pokemon use Booster Energy to great effect, an all-new consumable item that activates the boost from the abilities Photosynthesis or Quark Drive a single time. Iron Valiant can take advantage of this item very effectively, coming in with a speed boost later in the game and cleaning up teams with its wide coverage. Perhaps Kommo-o could do something similar, with the consumable item Throat Spray, which raises special attack by one stage after a Pokemon uses a sound-based move. Kommo-o could come in later in the game, boost up once, and clean up the enemy team. Although it needs a free turn to set up, unlike Iron Valiant, who consumes booster energy instantly upon switching in. Finding that turn to set up is much easier now. Clangorous Soul is considered a sound move, so this will consume the Throat Spray. With Terra, the opportunities are seriously vast. There are so many different defensive typings you could take advantage of, and offensive moves in your arsenal that you can boost the damage of with Terra. If the defensive Pokemon that are popular right now remain popular following the release of the DLC, it will be very difficult for some of them to respond to Kommo-o and all of its potential coverage options. Kommo-o's signature attack, Clanging Scales, is a high-power dragon move with 100 accuracy and the minimal drawback of lowering defense by one stage. This is an excellent and extremely threatening attack, especially after those Clangorous Soul and Throat Spray boosts. Kommo-o can very easily threaten the Steel and Fairy types who may attempt to answer dragon moves. Stab Close Combat or Aura Sphere will take on Steel types, and Poison Jab, Flash Cannon or Iron Head can hit fairies. No matter the enemy's type combination, Kommo-o will have some sort of coverage to hit it. The potential for different Terra types, movesets, item choices, and general ways to abuse this Pokemon are extremely vast. We have seen the new Terra mechanic push previously manageable Pokemon into broken territory multiple times now, by allowing offensive boost sweepers free turns to start snowballing, enhancing damage on stab and coverage, and even access to Terra Blast, providing Pokemon with any powerful attacking type they need to fill their gaps. Terastallization is an extremely powerful mechanic in competitive singles that has completely turned the game upside down. I believe that Kommo-o is one of the most significant returning Pokemon that is going to reach unforeseen new heights thanks to Terastallization. I could be completely wrong though. We'll just have to wait and see. Thank you to the patrons. Become a patron to appear on this sensational end screen alongside your favorite Pokemon, and to vote on future video topics.
KO by one hit! It scattered spikes!
The money got different.